So I need some redemption here because my last war, I died 3 times, all with Mole Man, and it was not a fun time. Well, honestly, it was a pretty fun war, but, I gotta do Mole Man justice in this war and the next one after. So here we have Path 4, Mole Man's favorite path, and check this out. Look at how fast he does these fights. 24,000 mediums, go back in after this, drop another combo, and this fight is now over pretty much. That is 11 seconds right there for Mole Man, and this is the Mole Man that I enjoy. When I think about it, really, I feel like Mole Man's issue and why I died with him was because the fights I took with him were just not Mole Man fights. I think Mole Man's range is about a path fight to a mini boss level, and that Titania, that was just me being bad, of course. But now that we're past that, we have, my favorite Mole Man fights that I just always enjoy doing, which is right here, Path 4. I think Path 4 is Mole Man's best path, like I said, but even other paths, he does pretty dang well. But this fight is going super well. Mole Man versus Rintra, not even that ideal, right? But Mole Man just doesn't care. We drop a combo here. He drops CSP2, no big deal. Just dodge it, hopefully. Yes, I do dodge it. And yes, this matchup is now over. A nice 27,000 crit there. And this Rintra was pretty beefy. He had about 400,000 health or something. So yeah, a pretty massive Rintra. But now we have honestly my favorite fight in a while. We have this Morbius. Now Morbius, if you don't know, has his, I think, Psionic Glide is what it's called. And basically he can just go unblockable and do a ton of damage to you with that glide. But as you saw right there, we just blocked it. We didn't care, because Mole Man just blocks anything except for Bubble Shield, but that bug is gonna be fixed soon, I hope. But yeah, that was just the highlight for sure. We go back in, drop BSP2, and this matchup is now over essentially. And look at that, man, 34,000 crit there. Just an absolute beauty to see. So that was that war done. It was a pretty boring one. I only had 3 Mole Man fights, but we got them done with ease. That war was a loss though. And this one right here has a ton of stakes, because if I die just once, the war is over for us. So yeah, this was scary, right? And I got so lucky in some of these fights, but honestly, I don't care. But first of all, there's some sabotage right there. My alarm went off right when the fight started, because yeah, my alarm goes off at 10 a.m. every day. And it just happened to be right when I started the war fight. How amazing is that? I was like, oh gosh, please don't let that screw me up. But thankfully it didn't. That was still just pretty funny though. Here we drop the SP2. And yeah, the power drain from Warlock for this tactic is just so good. And here we can just go back in, drop it again right here. And this matchup is so clean. Warlock is honestly one of the best champions for this tactic because of the power drain and the very good damage output, of course. And yeah, Warlock just proving that he's still a top 5 tech, because with this tactic, he just destroys everything. He is one of the most common bans, and if not that, the opponent pretty much has to place without willpower, because if they place with willpower, your whole map is just going to get warlocked completely. He will just shred the map because he is just that good, right? But now we have this Joe Fixit with Mole Man, and this fight is just so clean. Now, Joe Fixit with this tactic is one of the hardest defenders to deal with, but on a path fight, which is Mole Man's perfect range, he becomes an absolute joke essentially, because check out this damage output. It is beautiful. Here it drops the SP1. It's Disorient, which is pretty bad for us, but it's fine. We can just work around it, hopefully. And here we go for the parry. Thankfully, we get it. We drop the heavy attack, then we go back in, drop the SP2, and this fight is now over. So that could have been dangerous for sure, but hey, Joe Fixit. Look, Mole Man, he just shreds them. He just shreds most tactic characters. Titania, I feel like, is the hardest one to do with Mole Man, which I can tell you by experience, but it is what it is. But now we have this really fun Namor fight. And honestly, I feel like it is time to ascend my Namor, because I just use him pretty much every other war. And he's just so good at what he's meant to do. With these Korg fights, the Atuma fights, he just takes them really well. And I feel like it is just time to ascend him, because yes, he is a 7-star, but he won Sig 200, and I can't give a 7-star Namor 200 SIGs for like probably 3 years or something. So yeah, I think ascending Namor is one of the best ones to do because of how he works with his signature ability. But yeah, this right here is a rank 3 Korg, and that is very, very scary because with a 5-star, not a 5-star, a 6-star rank 5 Namor, you just can't crit against him essentially, and the block damage is lethal. Everything in this fight is just pretty dangerous for sure. And that's why I feel like 7-star Namor, it was the right call because you can like crit more with the 7-star. You can just get, you know, your challenger rating back, but you also have to like wait a long time to get him to Sig 200. So I don't know, man. It's so conflicting for sure, but I'm just happy he was acknowledged as a character in the game because, yeah, he's not like the most relevant champion right now, but he still does a ton of work for me at least. But yeah, there he dropped the SP3. We go back in, drop it again now right here. Kind of mess it up, but it's fine. But look at this damage output now. It is just beautiful stuff. But you can see that there is one big issue after this SP3. So we're going to drop it. Does some pretty good damage here for sure, but then check this out. We're going to drop the SP2 and we just do not crit at all. Like the damage output still is amazing, right? Like 79,000 non-crit on that final hit. It's still really, really good, but in like scenarios where it's like higher health pools, for example, a boss fight or a very, very ranked up mini boss, then that will definitely be a pretty big factor in the fight. So yeah, either I get a 6-star Gambit relic soon, or I just have to go to the 7-star Namor and make him like one of my first ever signature stone investments. I don't know, but all I know is that I love Namor a ton. But now we have this Spider-Ham mini boss, and this has power snack. So this can get dangerous really, really fast. Like here he has almost 3 bars of power, but he drops the SP2. It does some damage on my block for sure, but we don't care at this point. We're going to go in, drop the SP1, and now we just cannot either dex or just trigger our unstoppable, right? Either one of those things gives him a ton of power, and right when I say that, I dex. So that is pretty hilarious. But this fight, we're pretty much in control now. Here it drops the SP2 again, no big deal. And yeah, this fight is pretty much over now. We drop a heavy attack, does some pretty good damage, drop it again, another 25,000 or something. And yeah, this matchup was scary for a bit, but once we just started spamming heavy attack, you just can't stop Mole Man. So that was pretty fun. But now we have the dangerous fight. This one I got so lucky with, but I think it's still a pretty cool fight. This has Conflictor, and with I-Bomb here, it is a very dangerous matchup when it comes to power. So yeah, it gets kind of sketchy really, really fast because check this out. We're going to drop the heavy attack. He drops the SP1, which is perfect, but the power gain is still really, really potent. So here I should have baited a special attack, right? I should have done that for sure, but I didn't. So he has 3 bars of power now, which is really, really scary. So I dropped the SP1 out of panic. It does some decent damage output. I go back in with a combo, and that combo takes him out. I got so lucky there, but was it worth it? Well, no, because we lost by a single death, and that is, you know, kind of annoying for sure, but I'm not too fussed about it. I just thought it was cool that the war was this close, but hey, you know what, it is what it is, man. It's just Alliance War. I know, like, we're in Masters, but it's fine. We can just regroup after this. I think we'll be fine. But yeah, that was just a crazy fun war. Mole Man destroyed everything. Namor did really good. Warlock is just such a powerhouse. All this stuff was just really, really fun to do. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on this war video. And yeah, that's about it for me.